Welcome everybody to look at the fourth film in the Mabuse Lives box set released by Eureka, and it is the 1962's The Testament of Dr. Mabuse. So this is also known as The Terror of Dr. Mabuse, and it was directed by Werner Klingler, and it's once again a crime thriller, clocking in at 89 minutes long. And Gert Frobe actually returns to this film after having a momentary stay away from the previous film. And yeah, he returns as Loman in this one, so it's the second time he's played that character, but he's in the third time he's in one of these films because he played a different character in the first film. Wolfgang Priest once again returns as Dr. Mabuse, and we also have Senta Berger, who was also in the likes of Cross of Iron and the Quiller Memorandum. So, criminal mastermind and madman Dr. Mabuse has finally been locked away in an asylum for the criminally insane. Yet the expertly planned high speciality continue to occur. Inspector Lohman believes Mabuse is somehow still in command of his vast crime empire, yet when he visits the institution, he finds Mabuse engrossed in pages of seemingly nonsensical notes and charts. Mabuse's psychiatrist insists the man is harmless, but Lohman isn't so sure. So this is a remake of the 1933 Fritz Lang film, The Testament of Dr. Mabuse. Now Fritz Lang obviously directed the previous film to that one, Dr. Mabuse the Gambler, and then he directed the first film in this box set, The Thousand Eyes of Dr. Mabuse. So this is a remake of that middle film, and yeah, which I really rather enjoyed. To be honest, I found it really highly enjoyable, and found it to really rather quite rival the kind of universal horror films of that period. This, however, is not quite as able to match that effort, unfortunately. That said, this is still enjoyable enough, and the return of Gert Frobe helps make that the reality. It is also well paced, predominantly engrossing, has some solid cinematography and editing, especially in a scene where one of the characters and his girlfriend are in this room and there's a lot of mirrors, and they're getting kind of made to try and lose their minds in terms of where Mabusa is talking from and such. It's really rather well edited. The cast as a whole is good, and although the spectacle is greatly reduced over the original film, there's certainly no miniature sets that are exploding and such like that. There are still some entertaining moments. My only major issue with this is that it kind of ends on a kind of a in a kind of unsatisfying manner, because the main villain ends up driving into a river or a lake or something, and it just ends on that. So it's a little bit of a yeah, non-ending, quite frankly, but still, it's able to match the quality of the previous film overall at 3.5 out of 5, but nowhere near as good as the original film from the 1933, which yeah, I found to be really rather enjoyable. But that said, it does do pretty much everything that the previous film did from 33 did, with a much shorter running time. So yeah, if it had the spectacle of that previous film from the 30s, while yeah, doing some things a little bit different, it would have been as good as, but unfortunately not the case. So this shares a disc with the fifth film, sorry, that we'll be looking at. Not quite sure why this film is sharing a disc, whereas the first film in the previous case was not, but there we go. So yeah, I look forward to seeing the next film. So yeah, like all the other films in this set, it's had a 2K restoration from the original film elements undertaken by CCC. That means we've got a 1080p HD presentation, and we've got all the original stuff that we've already talked about, like the original German audio tracks, optional English dub tracks, optional English subtitles, and other extras like audio commentaries by film historian and author David Kaller, introductions to each film by genre film expert and video watchdog founder Tim Lucas, and then a criminology, a video essay by David Kahn and Fiona Watson. But the next film, the final film in this does also have something extra on it that we'll talk about when we get to that. But we also have a trailer for this film, so yeah, it's probably that extra that means that that's why the sixth and final film in this set has its own disc. But yeah, again, we'll get to that when we get to that film. So yeah, still, this film does maintain the quality of the previous film, and at the end of the day, it's again not a drop off in terms of quality, in terms of any kind of noticeable manner. So yeah, overall, really rather good, and again, another enjoyable film in this box set, which quite frankly is on a solid run so far. But yeah, if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.